In. I took the corridor towards the green Regent ward, trying to calm my breathing, corral my scattered thoughts. Turning into the ward, her ward, cards of thanks hung from the walls, and passing them, I was confronted by large internal windows, which belonged to the ward rooms. From the first window, patients peered out from their beds or slept. Unseen monitors chirped eerily. A weak call from down the hall caused a nurse to hurry past. At the reception desk, an unshaven nurse sat writing by the light of a lamp clumsily taped at its base. A fan played across his notes, trembling his dark hair. Ahead, the Oxford room. A doctor emerged from my left and stood between me and Mum's room. She looked concerned for my welfare as much as anything, and even though her bearing showed that she was mortally tired, her deep black pupils momentarily mesmerised me. "There's little now we can do for her," she said. "Thank you. Thank you very much. We can take care of her now." The doctor was Hayes's doing. He had added her in, giving me this last chance to turn back. "No, it's fine," I said. She moved away, revealing the large window in Mum's room. The dark outside pressed against the window panes. Her bed was still out of view behind the door. Hospital yellowness, just as it was before, but this time without helpers, without interruption. Much of what I wanted to say was scored into my heart, but I had to be patient to remember too much deviation from the script could jeopardise the entire programme, or worse, trap me in a loop. Lazarus script, Hayes had once called it, in a distant past. As I pushed open the door a little more, the outline of my mother's legs beneath the bed sheets made my knees weaken. With the greatest expression of calm I could muster, I closed the door and faced her, but I saw she slept, her breathing shallow. The waltzing dream came back to me, how she loved to dance. She'd dance with herself and sometimes gently hold my hand, encouraging me to join in, and when I did, she'd sing a song I didn't recognise, and I'd see her transported away from our pod to someplace else. She wanted life to be bigger, more vivid, precisely at the time when everything narrowed down and we went into the pods. She hated the virtuality. It was fake, she'd say, and it got her into trouble saying so. The neighbours shunned her, and we even got visits from officials, but she laughed in their faces. It was only when she'd shut the door on them that she'd sink down onto the sofa, sometimes immobile for hours. I could only look on. Her hospital room smelt faintly of excrement, clammy skin, and old soup. My mother was dwarfed by her inclined bed, a misty cannula taped to her hand. On a chair by her bed was a takeaway coffee cup and an old newspaper dusted with pastry flakes, while on her side drawers sat a clear plastic beaker and hairbrush. Tucked inside the drawer was a paper bag from which peeked the skeletal remains of a grape stem. I felt the urge to tidy up the cardigan, half hanging from her bed, and put away her frail, up-ended reading glasses. There we were again, me here and her there, the unimpeachable barrier of each passing moment between us. Helplessness infiltrated my bones. She was locked inside her fading body. Why weren't the doctors in there helping her? I was a selfish Dr. Frankenstein toying with life, and I couldn't escape the feeling that what I'd done was monstrous and that nothing about it made sense, except I'd never needed to do anything more in my life. And then she stirred. In that instant I knew, even if it brought the virtuality to its knees, I would do it all again, straight away. I understood the lover in the traitor. Mum smiled at me and suddenly covered her mouth, self-conscious about her missing false teeth, and I reassured her that she looked fine, as I had always done. Despite dry grey hair, her flushed skin colour, a vestige of her inner strength managed to shine. "How are you?" I said, finally, stupidly. She nodded. "I like your hair, these clothes," she said. I smiled. "Is your father here?" "No," I said, "he's just popped out." She looked so pained, I added. "He won't be long." I held her hand tenderly, the burn of oncoming tears stinging the rims of my eyes. Why had she never told me of her pain until the last days? Perhaps this other game she'd play with me had been going on for hundreds of years, long before the virtuality ever existed. The game of family members trying to protect one another from the truth, until the missteps of half-truths and white lies called the more insidious pain of not knowing what truth tasted like anymore. "Is it too warm?" I said. Beyond the regular hospital noises, there was a faraway beating on a door. "It's fine. Can I brush your hair?" "I'd like that," she said. I leant forward and carefully brushed her wiry hair as she stared intently, buried deep within herself. I remembered before how my helplessness stripped me of agency, so being able to offer her this small thing meant so much. Yet, in this situation, nothing was small. I tried hard not to think about the cancer replaying itself once more, with the coding, getting a greater grip as each second passed away, eating away at her. "Is that okay?" I whispered. She gently nodded.